Hello, anybody who's watching this. Welcome to my reaction to Jeff the Killer Creepypasta, Sundance Rejects. I love Sundance Rejects. That's my favorite uh, internet historian series. And I want to be in one, so please, if you're somehow watching this, put me in one of these. I'm gonna ask every time. Well, from the video that I started asking this, because I didn't ask in everything. Doesn't matter. I'm planning to do multiple reactions now. And of course, welcome to my very late reactions. It's by internet historian. I didn't say that. Incognito about the channel, but you see that in the title and all that. So yes, welcome to my late night recording because my sleep schedule is so bad. That 4 a.m. at this point is not that bad. I probably won't be able to react to everything I planned, so I'll do it. I can do it tomorrow or later. At least one matters because it should come out. Well, it's 4 a.m. so today. But yes, what's worse than my sleeping schedule is my stomach because I haven't eaten in about 24 hours. Then I ate something and I got diarrhea right off the bat. So let's hope it doesn't stop this. But if it does, you'll see some editing in this video, which I usually don't do for my reactions. And I pretty much do only reactions, so I probably don't remember how to edit anymore. So, if you want to help me, help my channel, subscribe. And if you want to recommend me a video, use my donation link. If I can use words, you can use my donation link. But I can't, so here's that. Anyway, donation link in the description below. You can recommend a video through that, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. And let's go for it.
Don't blame me. Blame Honey for sponsoring this video. The Jeff the Killer Creepypasta is popular. Really popular. So before Netflix ruins it with a feature-length film, we wanted to make a high-quality adaptation. One that stays true to the lore. Featuring Jungle Jimmy, Chills from Top 15s, The Vulcan, Skit and Sayers, and Donut Operator.
I don't know anybody except the Chills.
Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother Liu couldn't complain though. A new, better house. What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked,
perfect number,
one of the neighbors came by. "Hello," she said. "I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and introduce my son." She turns around and calls over her son. "Billy, these are our new neighbors."
Not Jeff.
Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard. "Well," said Jeff's mum, "I'm Margaret, and this is my husband Peter, and my two sons, Jeff and Liu." They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object, when their mother said that they would love to. When Jeff and his family had done packing, Jeff went up to his mum.
"Mom, why would you invite us to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid."
"Jeff," said his mother, "we've just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now we're going to that party and that's final." Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself, knowing that he couldn't do anything. Whenever his mum said something, it was final. He walked up to the room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there looking at the ceiling when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much a pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as some random feeling. He heard his mother call him down to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it.
People look everywhere. Wait.
The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get breakfast and got ready for school. He sat there, eating his breakfast, and once again got that feeling. This time, it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain. But once again, he dismissed it. As he and Liu finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus. And then, all of a sudden, Some kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches above their laps. They both jumped back in surprise.
Hey, what the hell?
The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his hands. The kid seemed to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff. He wears an Aeropostale shirt and ripped blue jeans.
Well, 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 it looks like we got some new meat.
Suddenly, 2 other kids appeared. One was super skinny, and the other was huge.
Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith.
Jeff and Liu looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have.
And he's Troy.
They looked over at the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard.
Jesus.
This kid looks like he hasn't exercised since he was crawling.
That's mean.
Zing,
And I
said the first kid.
am Randy.
Orton?
Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there is a small price for bus fare if you catch my drift.
Liu stood up, ready to punch the lights out of the kid's eyes when one of his friends pulled a knife on him.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. I had hoped you would be more cooperative, but it seems we must do this the hard way.
The kid walked up to Liu and took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong, a burning sensation. He stood up, but Liu gestured him to sit down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid.
Listen here, you little punk. Give back my bro's wallet or else.
Perfect voice.
Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife.
Oh no.
Oh, and what will you do?
Just as he finished the sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it. Randy screamed and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand.
So strong.
Troy and Keith rushed Jeff, but Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped the knife and fell to the ground, screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He just punched Troy straight in the stomach and Troy went down. As he fell, he puked all over. Liu could do nothing but look in amazement at Jeff.
Oh.
Jeff, how did you... That was all he said. They saw the bus coming and knew that they would be blamed for the whole thing. So they started running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others.
Okay.
As Jeff and Liu made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Liu just thought of that as his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. The urge to just hurt someone. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. He felt that strange feeling go away and stay for the entire day of school. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was, and he said in a somewhat ominous voice,
It was a wonderful day.
That's truly
Next
an
morning,
ominous voice.
he heard a knock at his front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers
God,
at
wasn't
the
that
door,
loud?
his mother looking back at him with an angry look. Jeff, these officers tell me that you attacked 3 kids. That it wasn't regular fighting, that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son. Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was
I don't
true.
get older and level up.
Mom, they were the ones who pulled the knives on me and Liu.
Son,
Said one of the cops.
we found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 having a bruise on his stomach, and we have witnesses proving that you fled the scene. Now, what does that tell us?
Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Liu had been attacked, but then they'd have no proof that it was not them who attacked first.
They have
couldn't
their
say that
wallet.
They weren't fleeing because, truth be told, they were. So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Liu. Son, call down your brother. Jeff couldn't do it, since it was him who beat up all the kids.
Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Liu tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me.
The cop looked at his partner, and they both nod.
Well, kid, looks like a year in juvie.
Wait,
Is that how it
said
works?
Liu. They all looked up at him, seeing him holding the knife. The officers pulled their guns and locked them on Liu.
Really?
It was me. I beat up those little pugs. Have the marks to prove it. He lifted up his sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises, as if he was in a struggle.
Son, just put down the knife.
Said the officer. Liu held up the knife and dropped it to the ground.
Jeff.
Fuck else would you drop it? He put his hands up and walked over towards the cops.
No, Leo, it was me. I did it.
Jeff had tears running down his face. Poor bro, trying to take the blame for what I did. Well, take me away. So the police led Liu out to the patrol car.
Leo,
Or you're in
Leo,
jury?
tell them it was me. Tell them I was the one who beat up those kids.
Jeff's mother put his hands on his shoulders. Jeff, please, you don't have to lie. We know it's Liu. You can stop. Jeff watched helplessly as the cops sped off with Liu inside. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulled up into the driveway, seeing Jeff's face and knowing something was wrong.
Son, what is it?
Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him, as Jeff wept in the driveway. So the cops have led his brother off, and they've gone, what is sentence him here? Yeah, about a year? Scratching their heads. About a year in juvie? Yeah, sounds about right. Was it you? No, it was me. I can prove it. Look, a scratch. That's all we need. Son, you're coming with me.
Where did that
Do I
scratch
need a
come
lawyer?
from?
No, don't worry about that. Don't
Did
worry
he
about that.
himself?
After an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house, seeing his parents were both shocked, sad, and disappointed. It's quite a lot. He
Yeah.
couldn't look at them. He just couldn't bear to see how they thought of Liu, when really it was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by, with no word from Liu at the JTC. No friends to hang out with. Nothing but sadness and guilt. Wow,
That is until Sunday.
this really is a solemn moment. Ad time. Here I have
Okay.
$1.05, 6 cents, 7 cents. There you go. But sir, that life-saving medicine for your daughter costs $1.08.
Oh no.
I don't
He's
have
so
any
big.
more money. Sorry, sir. No medicine for you then. Oh God, I wish I had saved more money and hadn't spent full price at a wide range of stores such as Domino's, Gymshark, and Booking.com. Now my daughter, who was going to be the first female president, is dead from whooping cough. Now I will have to pay even more for the funeral.
Maybe you can save on that?
Don't let this happen to you. Get Honey. Honey is a convenient little tool that lets you save money when shopping online. It's free, by the way. Sign up. Sign the fuck up. It's free and it doesn't give you ads. All you do is click this button and it automatically applies discounts for you on pretty much all the big retailers. This is what it's like. Look how easy this is. Just do it. Get the thing. It has like 10 million members. I need whooping cough medicine for my sick future president daughter. So join honey.com/internet historian.
I
Oh
would if I
baby, me so honey.
Alright.
That is, until Saturday, when
I love
Jeff
the
is
days.
woke up by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face. Jeff, it's the day, she said as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into the room.
Wait, what's today?
Asked Jeff as he stirred awake. Why, it's Billy's party. He was now fully awake.
Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after.
Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be a good thing that brightens up the past days. Now get dressed.
Great mother.
Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get herself ready. He picked out a random shirt and pair of jeans and walked downstairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up. His mother in dress and his father in a suit. He thought, why would they ever wear such fancy clothes to a kid's party? Son,
That's
is
what I
that
thought.
all you're going to wear?
Better than wearing too much.
He said.
What?
His mother pushed down the feeling to yell at him and hid it with a smile. Jeff grunted and went back up to his room.
I don't have any fancy clothes.
He yelled down the stairs. Just pick out something, called his mother. He looked around in his closet for what he would call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants that he had for special occasions.
Flashback
and
every
an undershirt.
time.
He couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though. He
The
looked around and found only a striped
Harry Potter
pattern
fanfic.
shirt, none of which go with the nice dress pants. Finally, he found a white hoodie and put it on.
You're wearing that?
They both said. His mother looked at her watch. Oh, no time to change. Let's just go, she said as
Great
she herded
quality
Jeff
watch.
and his father out the door. They crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house. They knocked on the door, and at it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. As they walked inside, all Jeff could see were adults. No kids. The kids are out in the yard. Jeff, how about you go and meet some of them?
Will bullies
said
be
Barbara.
there?
Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns.
Is that
Suddenly,
Michael Reeves
a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun
with a
and...
minigun?
Hey, wanna play? He said.
No
Michael
kid.
Downey.
I'm way too old for this stuff.
The kid looked at him with a weird puppy dog face. Please, said the kid.
Fine.
Said Jeff.
I
He
could be
put on
that
a
kid.
hat
Just
and
hire
started
me.
to pretend to shoot at the
For
kids.
nothing.
It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off Liu, until he heard a noise. A weird, rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skaterboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with a burning hatred.
What are you gonna do with a
Hello.
broken arm?
Jeff, is it?
He said.
We have some unfinished business.
Parents
Jeff
are
saw
right
his
there, though.
bruised nose.
I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you, and you get my brother sent to JDC.
Randy got an angry look in
I'm not
his
even sure what
eyes.
GDC is.
Oh no, I don't go for even, I go for winning. You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today.
As he said that,
Oh.
Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed him by the ears and headbutted him. Jeff pushed Randy off him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of their pockets.
What?
Real ones.
No one interrupts, or guts will fly.
They said, collectively. Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabbed his foot and twisted it, causing Randy to fall to the floor. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him. Need some help? He picks up Jeff by the collar and throws him through the patio door.
Boys will be boys.
As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts
Parents don't
hitting
give a
Jeff
shit.
until he starts to cough up blood.
Come on,
This
Jeff!
is an anime,
fight
that's
me.
not a good
He
thing.
picks up Jeff and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and
Drinks
smashes
it.
the glass over Jeff's head.
Fight!
That's Russian.
He
in me.
throws Jeff back into the living room.
Come on, Jeff! Look at me!
Witness
Jeff glances
me.
up, his face riddled with blood.
I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC. And now you're just gonna sit here and let him rot in there for a whole year. You should be ashamed.
Jeff started to get up.
Oh, finally! You stand up and fight.
Jeff is now to his feet, blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that
There it
strange
is.
feeling, the one
Now
which
he's
he
Super
hasn't felt
Saiyan
for a
or
while.
whatever.
Finally, he's up.
Says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something
Kill him?
inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed, and all rational thinking is gone. All he can do is kill, kill, kill. He
I'm
grabs
looking at-
Randy and pile drives him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. The punch causes Randy's heart to stop as Randy gasps for breath and dies. Everyone is looking at Jeff now. The parents, the crying kids, even Troy and Keith. Although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff. Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow up behind
This
as they let out
Creepypasta
their final rounds
that
of bullets.
popular?
Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs the towel rack and rips it off the wall. Troy and Keith race in, knives ready.
Where are
Troy
the guns?
swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard, and now all that's left is Keith. He's more agile than Troy, though, and ducks
course,
when Jeff
because
swings the
he's
towel rack.
slim.
He dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into a wall. A thing of bleach fell down on top of him from the top shelf. It burned both of them, and they started to scream. Jeff wiped his eyes as best he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's head. As they lay there, bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile.
Oh, I put Jeff.
What's so funny?
Asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter and switched it on. What's funny? He said.
Is bleach
Is that
flammable?
you're covered in bleach and alcohol.
Alcohol,
Jeff's
sure,
eyes
bleach.
widened as Keith threw the lighter at him.
Wow, it's even in the mirror.
As soon as the flame
This-
made contact with him, the flames
This is a
ignited the alcohol in the vodka. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. Get it? Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught on fire. He tried to roll out the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him into a walking inferno. He ran down the hall and fell down the stairs. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, drop to the ground, nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and the other parents trying to extinguish the flame. That's when he passed out.
Is there any piss on him?
When Jeff
Of course,
woke,
if pissing on
he had a
people is
cast
called...
wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on.
It's called... As a... Fuck. Like, pioneer? Kind of like a Boy Scout thing. If you piss out the flame, in Russia it's called like a pionierski, with like roughly it's like a... Well, pioneer I guess means first in English. Kind of like as a Boy Scout, you do that as a Boy Scout. Whatever.
On his shoulder and stitches all over
I'm
his
ashamed.
body. He tried to stand up, but he realized that there was some tube in his arm, and when he tried to get up, it fell out, and a nurse rushed in. Okay, it's a sexy nurse.
I don't think you
Oh.
can get out of bed just yet.
She said as she put him back in bed
Okay.
and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea of what his surroundings
I could
were.
have been her voice.
Finally, after hours,
Just get me.
he heard his mother. Honey, are you
Feels like
okay?
harsh from Batman.
She asked. Jeff couldn't answer though. His face was covered,
Except for the
and he
eyes.
was unable to speak. Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed to trying to attack you, they decided to let Liu go. This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his arm.
Sure.
Bless that tube. He'll be out by tomorrow, and then the two of you will be able to be together again. Jeff's mother
Unless Jeff
hugs
dies.
Jeff. It's the most convoluted fucking 4 words I've ever read. How about his mother hugged him? Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her goodbyes to Jeff. The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family, which is to say, Jeff's family. They came to the day where his bandages were to be removed. His family were all there to see it, what he would look like. As the doctors unwrapped
Why
the
is
bandages
why
from
Leo
Jeff's
still
face,
wearing that?
everyone was
shirt?
on the edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage holding the cover over his face was almost removed.
Let's hope for the best,
said the doctor. He quickly pulls the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face.
He has 3D monologues. Mark Zuckerberg now.
Leo and Jeff's dad stare awestruck at his face.
What happened to my face?
Jeff said. He rushed out of bed and ran to the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of the distress. His face. It's horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was turned into a pure white color, and his hair singed from brown to black. That's not a thing. He slowly put his hand.
None of
to
that
his
is a thing,
face.
I don't think.
It had a sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back at his family, then back at the mirror. Jeff, said Liu. It's not that bad.
Not that bad.
Said Jeff.
It's perfect.
His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching. Oh, Jeff, are you okay?
Okay, I've never felt more happy. Ha! Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me.
He stroked his face, feeling it, looking at it in the mirror. What caused all this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind...
dude, I didn't remember. It's been so long ago.
Now,
Jesus
he was
Christ.
left as a crazy killing machine. However, his parents didn't know that. Doctor, said Jeff's mum, is my son all right, in the head?
Oh yes, this behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here and we'll give him a psychological test.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Jeff's mother went over to Jeff. Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go. Jeff looks away from the mirror, his face still formed into a kind of crazy smile.
Okay, Mommy. Ha 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 ha.
His mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes.
This is what came in.
Why so
said the
ominous?
lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of blood and stitched together. They took the clothes they got burned in the fucking fire and cleaned them of all the blood and vodka and bleach and
fire
and cut out the burned bits and stitched. Fuck's sake. Jeff's mother led him into a room and made him put his clothes on. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life.
Foreshadowing.
Dun, dun.
It's not foreshadowing.
Later that night, Jeff's mother woke to a sound coming from the bathroom. It
Number
sounded as
change.
if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks. Jeff, what are you doing? Asked his mother. Jeff looked over to his mother.
Gosh,
I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever.
Jeff's mother noticed his eyes, ringed in black. Jeff, your eyes! His eyes were seemingly never closing.
I couldn't see my face. I got tired and my eyes started to close. I burnt out the eyelids so I could forever see myself, my new face.
Jeff's mother slowly
That's not how
started to
eyes
back
work.
away,
They're gonna
seeing
dry
that her
out.
son was going bananas.
What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful?
Yes, son, she said. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your face. She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep. Honey, get the gun. She stopped as she saw Jeff in the doorway,
Maybe the
holding
phone?
a knife.
Okay.
Mommy, you lied.
That's the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with the knife, gutting both of them. His brother Liu woke up, startled by some noise.
Some noise?
He didn't hear
Whatever.
anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep. But as he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up. Before Jeff's hand covered his mouth,
Sleeping
he
sleep
slowly
paralysis.
raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Liu.
Is that the shaving
Liu
knife?
thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip.
Just go to sleep.
To be continued.
Probably not. Yeah. Ah, that just abruptly like this. All right.
Don't
Yeah, don't blame him, blame Honey. Yeah, it's weird. It's quite a shitty creepypasta. But for some reason, because I guess maybe it's because of timing, it was one of the first creepypastas, maybe. So nobody expected like great writing from it, great story. There weren't that many errors in it, so that was good enough.
That is popular. Really popular.
There we go. Just some random one. Slenderman versus Jeff the Killer. Watch Mojo. The hell? Eh. Anyway, put me in Sundance Rejects, please, historian. Do you have a name? Does anybody know your name? I should Google that. But anyway, thank you anybody who watched this. This was... Well, the video was great. I just hate the creepypasta because it's quite shit. But yes, overall, 10 on 10 video. Thank you anybody who watched this. I hope to see you next time. And to do that, you can subscribe to not miss video. No, that doesn't have to be. Ring the bell. I don't care about that. Just do you. And goodbye. Have a great life, because one of us, has to.